Hi, I'm Brendan Davis with Jim Schaefer & Associates. Please take a moment to hear a story from one of my past clients about our experience working together.
And I first came to learn about Brendan when I was looking to buy a house in the Ferndale area after coming back to Michigan from New Orleans. I'd been gone for about 20 years, so I wasn't super familiar with the area. And I actually asked my brother-in-law, who was a real estate agent in East Lansing, to help me. And he referred me to Brendan, so his reputation was a good one. So I was recommended to Brendan, who was much more familiar with the area than my brother-in-law was and had a reputation for being familiar with the area. I decided to work with Brendan because, as I mentioned before, I wasn't super familiar with Ferndale. The last time I lived in Michigan, I was a teenager, and it had been 20 years since I'd been back. And so when I first met him, I was not only relocating, but as a first-time homeowner. So I was not sure of how to buy a house, what to look for, what to know about, I was looking for somebody who I felt trustworthy, who I didn't think would put their commission over their sale, because I was also a first-time homeowner. And so because he was familiar with the area, when I first met him, he just struck me as very knowledgeable. He knew what he was talking about. He was very good at educating me on the things to look for in a home. I think what made it easier to work with him is that obviously when you're coming from one area to another area, there are certain quirks and idiosyncrasies within a neighborhood that you need to pay attention to. One of the things that I learned about looking in the Ferndale area in particular was that the sewer system here can be an issue. And so those were things that he taught me about looking for in the area that would be a concern of mine. He talked to me about, when I first started, I looked in areas like Madison Heights and things like that, where I'm a younger person, I'm single, I'm looking for LGBTQ friendly neighborhoods. And so I wanted a good downtown. And so while I was looking in neighborhoods in the surrounding area, he gave me information about whether or not that met kind of the needs that I was looking for. This is best captured by kind of a story that was told to me. I was looking at open houses without Brendan around at times, just to kind of get a feel for the area and just to see if there was houses that maybe I could tell him about that I was more interested in. And so I went to an open house with an agent that had worked with him before. And when I mentioned who I was working with, which is Brendan, she told me how good he was, that she had been mentored under him, and that one of the cool things about him is that he reads books on what to look for during an appraisal and an inspection on his free time. So he's very good and knows what he's looking for. And so for me, that was super important to know that he was somebody who really dedicated himself to learning about homes, not just making money. And he took the time. It took me about 8 months to find a house. I was kind of a conservative buyer. I was also a first-time home buyer. And so it was really important to me to work with somebody who was patient, who would not push trying to sell me a house and make their priorities a bigger priority than mine. And that was something that I learned about him right away, is that he was very focused on learning about me and what my needs were and trying to find that. And I never felt pressured to buy a home when buying a home with him.
Experiences like the one you just heard are what I strive to provide for each one of my clients. Again, I'm Brendan Davis with Jim Schaefer & Associates, and I look forward to helping you on your next real estate transaction.